Hello, you're listening to Otaku Spirit Anime Cast. My name is Andrew, and I'm joined here with Chris.
Yo.
Today's episode is a discussional podcast episode. We'll talk about the news that seems important to us, that should be important to you, and then dive into our community and answer some great questions from our community members. But yeah, we're from otakuspirit.com. That's where you can all... otakuspirit.com. I realized that picked up really weird one time. Somebody showed me, and I was like, yeah, I get a little ahead of myself. And so sometimes it just all kind of blurs together. I've said otakuspirit.com so many times, it just doesn't come out right. Otakuspirit.com. Where all of our links are, social media links, ways to get a hold of us, ways to support us. We greatly appreciate everybody that supports the channel. But yeah, how's it going, Chris?
It's going okay.
Going okay. That is good. Mm-hmm. That is better than not okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of a step up. People appreciate that. We all know, we all like knowing that you're doing okay. How's the animes coming? Are you keeping up?
For the most part, yeah.
I kind of kicked myself that we did our spoiler discussion last week, and I decided to finally get caught up on Overtake, and damn, it's a good show. I'm thinking of making a video tomorrow on it, and it's like one of those ones where I'm like, I'm planning on making a video on a show that I know barely anybody's watching, and I want to get into talk about what happened at the end there, which I guess is one of those things where if people don't plan on ever watching it, it's fine, but I'd rather discuss it with people, because dang, that was some meaty episodes. The latest episode was decent. It was really cool to kind of see a perspective into the other racing party, but damn, getting into the photographer and all that stuff was like, oof, like gut punch. I was getting really emotional watching that, and yeah, I think it'd be interesting to talk about. So I might do a video on that tomorrow. We'll see. As a recording of this, which may be the day of you listening to this, if you're listening to us. So if you're listening to us, nobody listens to us. Anyways, yeah, I was gonna mention to Chris before we started recording. I'm like, I'll just wait until we get on here. I was looking at our Spotify Wrapped, so it tells you like all the information about your podcast and how well it's doing and everything. And of course, I can't get much of the stats from it, because technically March-ish we moved to Spotify, and so obviously the stats are going to be massively skewed, because now all the data, every listen is now being reported by Spotify, whereas before March, it's to multiple channels. It's all to a host. And so it was kind of, most of the data is not useful. But I will admit, even last year, and I don't know about the year before then, what is the most viewed or listened to podcast that we have? Junjo Romantica Season 1. I'm like, I've seen this before. We had a rap one time where it said that, or maybe it was another service gave me those stats, but I'm like, what is it with the Junjo Romantica Season 1 podcast? It's like 2017. I'm guessing it's on like some website somewhere. Like massive fans of Junjo Romantica is checking out, or maybe yaoi fans or something like that. It's a website somewhere. I did a little quick Google search. I did find that Spotify has a pretty decently popular playlist for Junjo Romantica, and it has the entire OST. And then has our podcast.
Oh, gosh.
And it's got like 1,500 likes, so I'm assuming maybe that's where they're getting it. Like somebody just, oh, cool, Junjo Romantic, and they're listening to music and like, yeah, it's my jam. Because I know when all the time I have a desire to listen to Junjo Romantica's OST, man, because that's a banger. I really don't know. It could be actually good music. I don't remember. I kind of block that from my mind. I almost want to go back and listen to it again. I end up talking about it on the Discord, and everybody's talking about like, oh yeah, I should probably go check that out and see what it's all about. And like, it's a really old recording, but I'm like, I mean, rest in peace, Noise Entertainment. But I bet they appreciated how much, I guess, discovery that we provided them with that. I think of all the recordings that or all the reviews we've done, Junjo Romantica is the one that hit the most. So I guess good on that. I guess so, and it keeps giving. We're just gonna keep giving until they finally announce that Noise Entertainment is gone. Whenever Crunchyroll decides they want to finally say, yeah, it's gone. Like, we're not going to address that until, 5 years down the road and nobody cares anymore. Then we'll say, yeah, it's gone. I hope Noise Entertainment is still around. Good people. Really good people. Passion is what I think is the best way to put it. Noise Entertainment had passion. And I think that was a lot to do with Sean Kleckner. Like, every project they did, there was passion in it. Yeah, granted, like Junjo Romantica, it's not like they put much effort into it. It's just a Blu-ray case with a Blu-ray in it. But with a lot of other things, like, the Captain Tyler and the Aria, what was that romance series they gave us? I don't think I had you watch it, but I think you were on here when I talked about it. Yeah, it was a two-parter.
Victorian story.
Orient story?
Was it in a Victorian story?
Yeah, Victorian story. Victorian romance. Yeah. And yeah, the Setsuba Sensei. It's like, golly, that book. The translator notes was crazy. But unfortunately with that one, it's like, yeah, I can see the future seasons not having anything like that. I think they released another one and it's like, nope. No more information. No more passion in there, which is unfortunate, but is what it is. Anyway, so yeah, that was a nice long tangent. You upset that she has the... I'm just going to wait until it makes the noise, and then we'll laugh at it on the podcast, and we'll get rid of it.
Well, if that's what you want to do.
You don't get where my mindset going here. We have to have at least one...
No, my brain...
There it is. There it is. We have to have one kerfuffle from Yuki, and then we correct it, and then we move on. I think she's done, though. It made one noise, and she's happy. Yuki's having fun with the ball. Anyway, what were we talking about?
The Setsuba Sensei, all the books and all that stuff that Sean Kleckner helped.
I thought you were following up with something. That's fine. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. But anything else? Side notes to make before we get into the news?
No, not that I can think of.
No? I'm excited for Christmas. I actually am pretty happy about this year. Like, for some reason, I just feel like I want to get into the celebration. I want to get into Christmas again. I think last year I was pretty blah about it. Not like the Christmas itself, because obviously getting together with family and everything like that, but like just December in general. I was like, I wasn't feeling it. I think I really badly wanted to do some cool weather.
I was kind of really excited about it until my car kind of started getting silly.
There's your Christmas present.
And then
negative.
So yeah, I'm really fighting this. So I got my Christmas list planned out so that I got a couple things for a thing for everybody.
And you got yourself a gift, a fixed car. You have to think of it half full, Chris. I'm not a fixed car.
Partly.
You got to treat yourself.
I'm semi happy with it.
Treat yourself sometimes.
But no, it was an unexpected expense, and so I had to cut back what I was wanting to do.
And just think, you got a free rental for a bit. Normally, you have to pay for that.
Yeah, you normally have to.
And all you had to do was fill the tank, which I hope you filled the tank.
I did. Fill the tank.
You better fill the damn tank.
Now there was a couple trips after.
Did you bump the wall of it? Did you bump the outside? Did you get any dents on it that I'm not aware of?
Not that I know of.
Did I ever tell you that the other brother did that?
Yeah.
Dented it and didn't want to say anything? I'm like, dude, he comes in with this marker that you get from like the manufacturer that like is the perfect paint and everything, and he's like. I'm not gonna do that, Yuki. You lose the ball, Yuki. You lose the ball. You have lost it. Now go lay down. Go lay down. But yeah, he just comes in with like manufacturer marker, and it's like the perfect color, and I'm like, "Hi, do you want to tell me what happened?" Yeah, I was hoping I could fix it before you notice it, dude. There's not gonna be any not noticing that. It's literally indented. It's not just a scratch. It's a dent. And yeah, it's technically under certain lighting, you can see it pretty clearly. It was goofy. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't think he obviously knew it was he thought it was going to bother me. And it's like one of those things of like, look, it happens. Eventually I'm going to get that first. Did you find the other one?
No, she hasn't gone over there yet. It's over behind me.
I thought I heard something shuffle. But yeah, that was a fun time. That was a fun time. Anyways, that's it. I guess that's it. Let's get into the news. That should be important to you because it's important to us. That's important to you. That's important to us. The official website, Chris, for the Fire Hunter. I released a new promo. It's coming January 14th, season 2. Are you excited for it?
Is that Steigo?
It's the one with the Tama girl, and she's in some weird post-apocalyptic world where like there's weird fire bears and guys fight fire bears with wolves.
Yeah, I didn't watch the first season.
I'm surprised you didn't because it had the Tama girl.
I know.
Even though she kind of disappears
for a while. Should I go and watch it because it's Scott Tama?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. It's one of those shows where it's like the show was so good on so many levels. Like it oozed world and atmosphere. Like the world itself that it built was super fascinating.
I remember there was a lot of things that were really kind of cool about the whole idea. It was supposed to be a love letter to the old shows and all that stuff.
It had a lot of veterans involved, yeah. But no, its story itself is not technically tied into anything like that, but it's just like it had an older group, veterans and stuff like that. But the interesting thing that came from it is like it starts out with pretty much our world, and then at some point this disease or something like that starts spreading, that whenever somebody gets anywhere close to like even a spark, any flames, whatever, they will combust. The person will combust. Like they just set on fire. And so mankind basically has to hide away from all technology and get away from anything like electric and stuff like that because it'll set them on fire and kill them. And it's them rebuilding. And it had a really fascinating kind of setting. Like I said, kind of a world reborn into a new setting. And just the animation, just not really good animation. And the ending sucked because it was a part 1 of 2. Season 1 just ended. It was just like, okay. If I remember correctly, like the girl's in a river and stuff's going down over here and it's like done. I'd like to rewatch it, but I don't know. I might want to read it instead or something like that. It's just it wasn't a very visually pleasing show, even though there was some good artistic choices in there. But yeah, the PV was crazy good too. I remember that. Remember when we did the preview? I was looking at the preview and you probably were too, but it was like massive hype. Like it looks so good. And then the show comes out. And all those scenes in the PV looked really good. Everything else, no. It's like, oh, there's that scene from the PV. It looks good. And then it goes back to stills. The first episode was really good visually. It just tanks after that. But I'm still debating it. I will probably watch the second part. I want a conclusion. I want to see what happens to Tama. See if she makes it out alive. I don't know.
She's in the water. Obviously, she's gonna make it.
I think she was in the water, or maybe they got her out of there. I don't remember. I just remember the river and she falls in or something like that. Anyways, the official website for Rascal Does Not Dream of Knapsack Kid has announced that the university student arc is getting an anime adaptation, so that's still going. I think we have like 2 films, and then they'll be going right into. They haven't specified what it's going to be. I think they just said it's getting an anime adaptation, which typically means you'll see if it's a TV or theatrical. I would assume. I don't know. I don't know how long it is. So, and granted, technically, that doesn't really mean anything either because they can drag it out or shrink it to fit theater. I guess it just depends on how good the theatrical showings did. If the theatrical showings did really well, then sure, why not make another theatrical release? I don't know. I'm now like 3 arcs behind. I guess technically Knapsack Kid I think was 2 movies, so I'm technically 2 arcs behind. So I still gotta watch the
Little Sister,
the Dreaming something,
Dreaming Kohai, and the Little Sister.
Yeah.
But the Little Sister has 2. It looks like she's got an Little Sister and Little Sister Idol. So yeah. I've been debating the idea of getting into the light novel or the audiobooks, but all the other ones keep taking all my time. So
all the other ones,
yeah,
is like too much to want to read, not enough time, and then keeping up with anime at the same time. Here's a cool one, Chris. Gushing Over Magical Girls. We got a new promo and a January 3rd premiere for it. So exciting stuff. And it's looking as thirsty as I thought it would look. There's of course that one where the girl like really likes the magical girls, and then she gets to become a transformation, but it ends up being that she's the villain or something like that, and then she does inappropriate things to the magical girls. And yeah, the PV is pretty spicy, I have to admit, and it doesn't look like they're really holding much back. There is one unfortunate thing about this, and that is, I guess, typical to shows like this or stories like this. There's 3 versions. There will be a TV broadcast version, which is following all safety laws and regulations to prevent people from seeing naughty things or hearing naughty things. So it'll have censored visuals and audio. And then they will have a stream, which I think is like on D Anime or something like that, and ATX version, which will be slightly visually censored, and I think also slightly audio. Some audio will be removed, which is probably going to be things that are a bit too huffy puffy. And then they will have the obvious Blu-ray version, which will be completely uncensored. So that'll probably be one of those ones where whoever picks it up, please not Crunchyroll. It's probably already announced for Crunchyroll. Maybe I just probably forgot, but please Crunchyroll, don't touch it. You don't need to. Just don't worry about it. You know you're not going to like it. Mm-hmm. But it'll probably be one of those ones where we'll just have to wait for a streaming platform to translate it. Then we'll probably have an ATX version get leaked out there, and then somebody can slap the subtitles. Because whoever gets it over here is going to get the... Even High Dive. is probably going to get the censored version, because D-Anime and ATX probably have the exclusivity on the partially censored, and so whoever gets this license will probably get the TV broadcast version. I'm just preparing people, just preparing you before you go, oh my gosh, High Dive and Crunchyroll are censoring it. It's probably going to be exclusive to those two platforms, and over here we're going to get the other version. It's just, it always happens.
Yeah, just learn how to learn your Japanese and go watch it on ATX's website.
There you go. Bam.
You can do that,
or watch it over there, you put like a browser with the Crunchyroll / High Dive version, and just have enough of this the player showing that it shows the subtitles.
It'll be off,
and then you put ATX above that, and you play at the same time.
Nope.
Why not?
It won't.
Are you saying that Japan runs on a different time than we do? Like they're 1 second slower per hour?
No, it's the problem will be your if there's added scenes, those scenes will throw off your timing.
That is true, but they typically do like an overlay whenever there's a cut scene. I mean, granted, technically only my legit just cut the scenes out, but yeah, I usually with like a lot of them they do like a replacement scene. But I don't know, we'll see how they do it.
Sometimes.
We'll have to look at the studio and see how they usually handle that stuff. It's actually a good question that we can look into. But yeah, that's coming. You excited for that? Winter.
Yes, actually, it looked absolutely fantastic. I wanna watch that bad.
Winter's looking pretty stacked already. It's looking pretty stacked. A lot of the news that we have right now is going to be for what's starting next month. Like Aniplex streaming a promo for Blue Exorcist Shimane Illuminati Saga, which is going to be premiering on January 6th. So. Yeah, apparently Blue Exorcist is finally coming back. I think they announced that Blue Exorcist was coming back like 5 years ago. Because they did what was the Kyoto arc or something like that.
I thought they released that, didn't they?
You mean the Kyoto arc one?
I don't know. They did it once. There was Blue Exorcist that came up a few years ago. So
right, it was like they did the first season and then they did something arc, and then this is the third one, I think. So I don't know. I heard too many negative things about them originaling it and then like having to undo the originaling, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to bother. Mm-hmm. I mean, I do want to watch Blue Exorcist, but might be one of those things where just stick to the source material. Is that a light novel? I think it's a light novel, right? It might be a manga. I don't know.
More likely light or a manga, but I don't know, honestly.
I don't either. That's why I'm asking. Anyways, let's see what else. Ishura anime staff has revealed 2 visuals for the series and a beginning date of January 3rd. So that's apparently around the corner. I don't remember if we actually looked in this one. In a world where the Demon King has died, a host of demigods capable of felling him have inherited the world. A master fencer who can figure out how to take out their opponents in single... I remember this one. This is the one that had like a crazy action PV for it. But yeah, a bunch of different people, and they're all fighting, and they're eager to attain the one true hero. These champions each pursue challenges against the formidable foes and spark conflicts themselves. The battles determine the mightiest of the mighty begins. So there you go. It's the race for the top of the 7 great powers. Well, how many did they list? How many did they list? 1, 2, 3, 4. They only showed 4. There's more than that on the picture, though. So there you go. Ishura. It's coming. So let's see here. Official website for Pon no Michi. Yet another shogi show. Can we ever get enough shogi shows? This one, no, this is mahjong. Sorry, not shogi. This is mahjong. Anime set in the prefecture of Onomichi City. High school students was kicked out of their house without a place to stay. And their friends, she learns that mahjong parlor that her father used to run is now vacant. She fixes the mahjong parlor and turns it into a place where her and her friends can have fun, cook, have tea, and sometimes play mahjong. And so, I like how honest it is. It's a show about mahjong, and they sometimes play mahjong. I like it. But yeah, it's going to be coming out January 5th. So again, another January show.
Cute girls playing mahjong. That's always fun. Because they always do it crazy.
Because they will make it as flashy as possible so that you're entertained, or at least that, or show skin. I guess that's the other thing they can do. I'm not sure if that's implied that it's supposed to be an ecchi or not. I mean,
the girls
the
don't
key art,
look like they're ecchi type.
I mean, it looks just legit like Tempuru. Like, it looks like the cover of Tempuru.
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll see. I mean, I didn't
depends
see
on how
like,
spicy the girl with the black and pink hair is.
She's looking gothy, dude.
Yeah, she looks awful.
And she's the main
gothy.
character, I'm assuming.
I'm assuming she's going to be the main character.
I would assume that she was going to be it, but unless they're just showing her in the trailer because it's just a character trailer. That's probably what it is. Anyways, yeah.
It just doesn't feel like
it doesn't look. Yeah, it doesn't
feel
look
like
risque. You would have seen some skin in the PV.
Yeah.
So there you go. Anyway, Symphogear's coming back apparently.
I know that she's going to be my favorite easily.
Because she's goth looking.
Yes, she's totally gonna.
She looks very Western goth.
Yeah.
She didn't look like a Japanese goth. That's the weird thing. Anyways, yeah, Project Symphogear. I almost said Nymphogear. So Project Symphogear Next has been announced.
Are you stuck, Andrew? Let's bring you out of the pit.
I was just looking at the ecchi Mojang show that is not going to be ecchi Mojang, which is upsetting to me apparently. But no, yeah, Symphogear franchise has announced that they're getting a new project titled Project Symphogear Next, which is going to include a theatrical film. So fans of Symphogear, be excited for it. We have legit no other information for it. They even said that it's launching the new project in 20XX, which, that was their previous announcement. That doesn't really help because that could be 2099.
Yep. They were giving themselves a lot of leeway.
It's like 2082, and everybody's going, "Where is my next Symphogear?" And they're like, "We said 20XX," and then they'll finally announce it like the legit last year.
it'll be in what is it?
It'll be like
August of 2099.
It'll be like the government literally forced them to have to do it because they said that. Well, it would be false advertisement otherwise. So you guys have to make something. They're like, okay, let's just throw together a 1 minute short. Okay, yeah, that's passable. You made it. Anyways, that's happening. Banished from the Heroes Party, Chris. That's finally coming back. Are you excited?
Sure.
Didn't they announce that like right after the show ended? I think they announced the second season right off the bat. But that's coming January 7th, so I think they already announced it was supposed to be winter, or was it supposed to be in spring? But yeah, now we have a date, so it's January 7th, so.
It'll be nice to see kind of the continuing of that story. I did actually like it.
I seem to remember that it was a pretty conclusive show, but yeah, I guess there's still a lot more they can get into.
Yeah, there was still some stuff that they could dig into, but no, you're right. It did feel like it was pretty much a concluded story.
Did they even defeat the Demon Lord? Because he got kicked out.
No,
obviously.
she came
back to him.
Yeah, she went to him.
But I wasn't sure if she went and killed him first and then came back. I think she legit left the party and came back to him. So it's like, okay, but yeah, the they still got to take out the Demon Lord.
And that's when they started digging into the crap that they were putting in her doing to.
Yeah, her story was really interesting. The hero, that stuff was really cool. So
hopefully they can clean up some of their storytelling and it'll feel a little bit better.
Yeah, and their animation too. There's a couple weird parts in it. But yeah, like a rare case of a Banished from the Hero Party story where he legit beds the girl. And I know it's like that was the whole thing that everybody was talking about at the time. It was like, holy crap, it's a show where the guy gets in bed with her. It's like, why does that have to be a selling point? Anime, why does it have to be such a selling point? Why can we not have characters besides just like one every 5 years that actually does that? It's just weird. It is a thing though. Yeah, that's coming back though. Crunchyroll has revealed a new original sci-fi anime. Chris, are you excited for a Crunchyroll original? Because they're always good, right?
Sure.
I can't think of a good one, but there's a good... Was Odd Taxi a Crunchyroll original?
I don't know that it was.
I mean, by Crunchyroll original, I mean they label it as Crunchyroll, like Netflix. They say a lot of things are Netflix original, but they're not actually. They're based off of source material or something like that. But like them doing a funding of it, basically, is what I mean. Majority funding, I guess you would call it, is probably what they have to do in order to get that title. But yeah, the show is called Astro Note. It's called Astro Note. The character designs look like they're straight out of Carol and Tuesday, I'm guessing. So I'm guessing the character designer from Carol and Tuesday. I don't know. Let's see. Characters right here. It says, yeah, it is Carol and Tuesday. Yeah, I called that one. I mean, it's not very difficult. I'm not doing anything special here, but anyways, yeah, it's a sci-fi comedy, and it's set to premiere in April of 2024. They released a PV and a key art for it. The synopsis they gave is Takumi, a gifted chef, was just let go from his job. He lands a gig at an old boarding house called Astro Soul, but hesitates to accept after learning he must also live there full time. What? What? He hesitates to accept staying at an old boarding school house because he's going to have to live there full time? Like, he can't leave the house, maybe, is what they're implying? Anyways, that is until he meets the beautiful and charming caretaker, Mira, and he's sold. The two begin to work together for their connection, and their connections deepened, but Mira, I want to say Mira, it's Mira. Mira has a secret. She isn't from this world. This sounds extremely familiar, Chris. I think they're, 2 seasons too early or too late on this one? Angel Next Door? not Angel Next Door. Galaxy Next Door.
Yeah.
It's legit Galaxy Next Door, except for he's a chef and not a... he's a chef and not a mangaka.
Well, he was owning the place in that situation. She was moving into his place.
He's owning this place?
No, in this one, it's her that pretty much owns the place. In the other one, it was him that owned the place.
Oh, he didn't own that place.
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's Oh well, she's also not coming over from a cult on an island somewhere. So that's another big difference. And she may or may not have a stinger. We'll just have to see if Mita has a stinger. I do appreciate their character designs. I think there's a couple shots in the PV where it doesn't really look good. Like, it's like you have to have the right shading, I think, for her design to work. And there's a couple of shots where her design kind of looks a little bit cartoonishy, but it looks good. It looks good. We'll see. We'll see. So there you go.
Yeah, I kind of like the designs. I think the concept's interesting. It can turn out to be decent.
They're like, you have to live here full time. He's like, no. Oh, she's hot. Never mind, I will. Never mind, she's hot. Life choices. You gotta jump. You gotta take the jump when you can take the jump. You know. There you go. A Journey Through Another World novel is getting a TV anime adaptation, and yeah, it's gonna be in 2024. So that's exciting. I don't think we have a PV for it. I think we just have a key art for it so far. Due to a mistake by God, Takumi Kayano loses his life and is reincarnated. Bestowed with various skills, he finds himself transported to another world. We're doing it again? Loses his life and is reincarnated. Bestowed with various skills, he finds himself transported to another world. I guess reincarnated and transported, I guess, at the same time. I don't know. Anyways, a perilous forest infested with monsters. In that forest, Takumi discovers what appears to be twin young boys and girls.
So four kids?
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for jumping on that. I didn't have to say it. This is a dumb synopsis. This must be like a butchered translation or something. Yeah, it's the staff described it. So yeah, somebody just translated the thing.
He just found a pair of twins, and one is a girl and one is a boy. We got it. We're just making jokes. We're making fun of the translation.
Based on the key art, yes, we assume that it's just a boy and a girl. Just that. That's it. And they look similar, so they're twins. Anyways, whom he names Alan and Elena, and takes them under his protection.
The other two kids don't get names?
Apparently not.
Jeez, dude.
No, wait, Chris. Whom he names Alan and Elena, and takes them under his protection. So maybe the other two are called takes them under your protection. So
either that or you just dumped the other two out.
No, it's just he didn't name one of them because it's Alan and Elena and takes them under his protection. This is so stupid. Despite being surprised by two effortlessly defeat. By the two effortlessly... Now it's messing up how I read. It's breaking me. The two effortlessly defeat monsters. Okay, never mind. It is literally just wrote weird, and that's what's messing me up. Despite being surprised by the two effortlessly defeating monsters with their martial arts skill, Takumi eventually reaches a town and registers with the Adventurers Guild to make a living.
And he's taking the kids, or is he dumping them in the daycare, or what?
He's gonna use them. He's gonna put them to work.
Isn't that child labor? I mean,
that's the assumption. They're literally. You guys are not seeing. Did it say toddler earlier? You're not seeing the key art we're seeing. These look like what 3-year-old, 4-year-olds. He's just gonna put them. He's like, they're so cute. Oh, they're really strong. Come with me, kids.
Let's go make money.
Let's go.
Let's go kill the demon lord.
Go kill him. Anyways, I'm gonna
Pokemon does not work like that, guys.
The kid's like, why are you throwing rocks at us? I'm trying to catch you. They act like they're Pokeballs. Stop throwing rocks at us. Oh, he's like, damn it! They keep popping out of the Pokeball.
Where's my Ultra Ball?
I need an extra Pokeball.
I need the Grandmaster Ball. What's the ultimate one that
Ultra Ball?
No,
I don't know.
Ultra Ball was
there's another one. I don't know. I haven't played in a Pokemon game in a long time. Thus begins. Did I read this other part? Yeah, he goes to the Adventure Guild to make a living. He's not going there to make a living. He's going there to use them to make a living. Thus begins a laid back. Of course, he's going to have them do everything. Adventure's life as Takumi watches over growth of Alan. And is that what we call it? Is that what you call?
Well, when you're out with your Pokemon and you do a lot of Pokemon battles, your Pokemon get stronger. I mean, obviously. So you're observing their. I just said this is not how Pokemon works. I just said that.
Is that one of that's what they say in certain sweatshops? They're just having a laid back adventure. Oh my gosh,
Drew.
Dude. Oh, this is horrible. Forced labor. This is going to be an interesting show to watch. I wonder if this will be the controversial show of that season. I wonder if people will actually pick up on that and turn into a massive. I think I'm going to make it. Every season, people they fabricate things like crazy, and I roll my eyes at it. And I think this will be the season I will fabricate something. I will make a video saying this show is problematic. It's forcing two toddlers to fight monsters so that he can have a quote unquote laid back adventure. It's the isekai relaxation show where he just has two cute. I wonder if they're gonna be like slimes or something like that.
They probably.
They kind of look like slimes, or they look like characters that would be like a slime character. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. What else do we have, Chris? Let's see. We also have.
Well, at least
Katakawa.
he didn't kill 300 years worth of slimes so that he can pick those up.
That was cool. Where's the second season of that? I think they announced the second season of that. Katakawa released a new promo for Villainess Lv99 anime adaptation. That's going to be also January 9th premiere, so another one for January. Also, Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable website released a new promo for the revealing of January 8th for its premiere. So those are all coming out next month. Holy crap, dude! The year is ending, Grizz. It hit me like the other day. It was like I think it was like the 2nd of December. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I got to do like all that like end of year. We have to do our debates podcast. We're gonna have our community picks and all that kind of stuff, and then we got to do like the best of the year. I have to make a bunch of videos for best of the years and stuff like that, and then we'll do it, and then we'll be going right into first impressions for the next year or next season. Woof, just woof. At least a few really amazing shows are going into next year. That's all I'm happy about. So many good shows this season are doing 2 core. Anyways, what else? Official website for the TV anime, the Yokai Next To Me, has released a new PV and visual for a April 2024 premiere. I didn't actually look into this. It's a cat. It's a cat show. Is it a yokai cat?
It looks like a Natsumi.
It's a Natsumi? What's a Natsumi?
Natsumi Book of Friends.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's yokai, and that to me, yeah, you even got the twin tail cat. It just doesn't look chunky like the one from. It doesn't look like Nyanko Sensei with the big fat chubbiness. So I don't think that's gonna be it. But yeah, Leading Film's gonna be working on it. So looks good though. It looks good. Hopefully, it's a really solid story. I don't know if it'll be a. I guess the question is it going to be a yokai solving mystery kind of thing or what, or just a relaxed show? Manga takes place in a rural town and tells stories of the carefree, heartwarming, and sometimes mysterious lives of yokai, humans and gods who live alongside each other, each other in the town. So, yeah, just slow life yokai. I almost want to say isekai. Slow life yokai. Just chilling and sipping drinks and everything. Leading Films can really hit when they want to, so I don't have no doubt that they'll pull off something good with this. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for that. I just literally seen this today and I hadn't looked into it, so yeah, I'm for it. Slow life rural town yokais, which typically the yokai stuff is set in rural towns. I think it's for the purpose of the fact that they don't want to. I guess yokai just don't like big cities. Or if it's just an aspect that it draws less attention when it's in this rural town.
according to like the cyberpunk type games and stuff like that, magic has a kind of allergy towards technology. That's why night elves cannot be in technological areas.
They sneeze.
Yeah, and depending on the level of allergy, the more perks you can get. So. You kind of balance the two.
Sure. Sure. What else? Shonen Jump YouTube released a promo for Magilumiere Co LTD manga getting an adaptation, which is going to be done by Moe and JC staff for 2024. So I don't know. The PV looks like Once Upon a Playtest because it has a bunch of girls in like what looks like a modern setting, and they have like the broomsticks, which they look all technological. I didn't get the sound effects like, you know, the Playtest one where it had like Honda cars and stuff like that, engines revving. It looks like she has like a Burger King sticker on her broomstick. I don't know. It looks like it could be interesting. Just a corporate worker magical girls, I'm guessing, or witches. They solve problems and stuff in modern setting. I don't know. Let's see what the synopsis says. What's your guess that the story's gonna be about, Chris? Guess the story.
I haven't the slightest clue. It's
is she gonna be a producer for her? Like she's the witch and she's like her agent.
She might be an agent. It might be kind of like that, you know.
Did we see her, the big twin tail girl with a broom, or was it just the yellow girl? Yeah, she just kind of has a business suit. I don't think we've seen her with magic. So yeah, she's probably the producer. All right, let's see. No, dang it, spoiler. I just seen the art for her in her quote-unquote magical girl outfit. Her uniform. A magical girl? A profession that undertakes the work of exterminating a kind of natural disaster called Kai. Kana Sakuragi, a female college student who struggles with job hunting, is picked up by a magical girl startup company, and magical girl work life starts now. There you go. So she's a college student that she's going to become a magical girl.
I do love the idea. I have yet to find one that actually pulls it off. I do love the idea of not necessarily the commercialization of said superheroes or something like that, because there's been several attempts at kind of doing it. But it's never kind of quite worked the way I want it to. It's almost this kind of a play on the idea of for instance, My Hero Academia kind of did it. One Punch Man kind of did it, but nobody actually kind of just does it quite the way I would love to have it done. Just kind of build this kind of system from the ground up and actually have this commercialization. And that's kind of in a way what this is doing. And maybe hopefully this might actually be the one that kind of scratches the itch of the way I want it to be done. But it's a fun idea that I just would love to see.
Yeah, it's almost like they kind of they're all missing something.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to explain. It's not necessarily saying they're bad, just that there's something that you just feel that's not quite there. I think the problem that I usually have is that they always start like they have a good concept set up, but then they just go a direction that I don't really want them to go.
Yeah,
or they get too big. It doesn't really ground it in the idea of just staying like a natural aspect of it. Kind of, I mean, Great Pretender, not Great Pretender. What was that other one that was around the same time with the villains, and it was kind of like The Boys but anime. I know I'm gonna get hate for that again because I got a lot of hate for saying The Boys the anime because it technically came out, or the original comic came out before it. Super Bads. What the hell is a stupid name? That was gonna drive me nuts trying to remember the name of it. Anyways, yeah, that kind of did a pretty good job of kind of keeping that setting there and secure, while, yes, technically going in a direction that I wasn't really wanting it to, that was outside the bounds of that kind of normality, but it was still kind of going with that same concept. So, yeah, I can see it. I can see it working out. But I do appreciate, like, I agree with you. I do like this idea of taking something that seems kind of very, very fantastical and trying to ground it into a structure. Is really what it is. Trying to normalize it in a world and put it into a structure that a society would put on it. Mm-hmm. That's the whole thing with like My Hero Academia. It's literally, rather than the Superman that comes in and blows up everything and saves everybody, it's literally everybody has these powers, so we're gonna make it to where there's an order, and we have to make it to where you can't use these unless you're a hero or whatever. You have to be a licensed hero in order to use your powers in this society. That's the stuff that's kind of interesting. So, yeah, we'll see.
And then what do they do with vigilantes? Hey, they got a
Super Crooks. That was the name of the show. So nobody has to sit in the comments, but they'll do it anyways. That was the show I was trying to think of. Yeah, we'll see. What else? We have a new promo released for announcing Dandadan manga getting an anime adaptation by Science Sorrow. Science Sorrow is going to be doing it, and it's going to be premiering in 2024. Which I've heard things about this. I've heard lots of popularity around the manga, but I've heard this is going to be actually the one that's going to have a lot of controversy, and I can kind of see why based on the PV showing something. So we'll see how significant that being in the actual show is going to be. But hopefully Science Sorrow really knocks it out of the park, because like I said, there's a lot of popularity around this series, and I can see it kind of doing very well if they pull it off. A nerd must fight powerful spirits and aliens, all vying for the secret power of his family jewel. So, who better to fight alongside than his high school crush and a spirit granny? Momo Ayase and Okarun are opposite sides of a paranormal spectrum regarding what they believe in and what they won't. Their quest to prove each other wrong leads to them to a path of a secret crushes and paranormal battles. Path of secret crushes and paranormal battles. They'll have to participate in to believe. Momo Ayase strikes up the unusual friendship with her school's UFO fanatic, whom she nicknames Okarun, because he has a name that is not to be said out loud. While Momo believes in spirits, she thinks aliens are nothing but nonsense. Her new friend, meanwhile, thinks the exact opposite. To settle matters, the two set on to prove them. This is saying the same thing again. I just realized I'm reading the same thing, but more expanded. But yeah,
sounded like the second one made more sense. So
it did, because it was more expanded. What unfolds next is a beautiful story of young love and oddly horny aliens and spirits, ? Okay. We'll see. Oh yeah, they also had another Suicide Squad Isekai trailer come out. I forgot about that. I wanted to watch this. I guess we can watch it live while we're on here. Or is this the old one? It's showing the same scenes from the old one. Yeah, this is the new one, because 3 days ago. It's just the same scenes from the first one. So hopefully it has something new in here. It looks like there's a couple of extra cuts in here. We got lots of explosions. Well, okay, that's probably the thing that isekais them, so I guess that makes sense. You have to have an explosion that isekais them to another world. Okay, we get to see Harley Quinn doing some drop kicks. Get to see I don't know who he is. Potato bag on the head, and looks like I don't know who any of these characters are. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop acting like I know who these characters are. I remember the shark dude. I don't know his name, but I just call him Shark Dude. It looks like it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it, and Harley Quinn looks amazing. And obviously, this is legit gonna be like, nobody's gonna care about this show except for Harley Quinn. Let's be all perfectly honest.
Well, why the hell else would I watch it except for Harley Quinn?
She looks amazing. I'm sorry. Everything else in there is like, whatever. I don't care. Shark face dude. Harley Quinn is on the screen again. All right, let's go. And like anybody talking about it on Twitter is like, Harley Quinn, let's go. She looks amazing, so it's not a shock. Oh my gosh, they put Bocchi in the situation of with the prison realm.
The what?
It's Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh.
Character got stuck in like the seal away thingy, and they're putting Bocchi in it, so she's gonna get sealed away in the box. Anyways, anything Bocchi on your thumbnail is gonna get clicks. That's what it's all about, man. What else? I think that was it. I think that was it.
You started enough of it. We started enough of a love for Bocchi that
you're all welcome.
So that now people can just make money off of Bocchi.
I was trying at the time to sell people on do-it-yourself, but Bocchi was a good second, I guess. Oshinoko, during a fan festival, they announced the second season of Oshinoko is going to premiere in 2024, so that's news, I guess. I think we can all kind of assume that it was probably 2024 or 2025, I guess. It could have been as well. So I guess it's good that we just at least know that it's not going to go in 2025. Kadokawa's announced that third season of Classroom Elite will hit on January 3rd. So that's coming back. Fluffy Paradise is set to premiere on January 7th. So the isekai into another world as a cute little girl. And then I got, what was it that her power is to attract animals? And then thus she decides to hug waifus because she's an overworked office worker. So she decides to live her next life just
if it's
hugging
not
fluffy
Tama,
stuff.
I'm gonna be mad.
It's not. It's not. Sorry. Go ahead. Rage, Chris. You said you were gonna be mad, and you're not doing it.
I'm raging in my heart.
Okay. Yeah, he's like, I said I was gonna be mad. It doesn't say I was gonna yell. Let's see here. Crunchyroll announced that the second season of Tower God is premiering in July of 2024. So whoever actually cares about that show, be excited. I really didn't like the first season. There was cool stuff in it, but yeah. Anyways. Evex announced that the magical girl and the evil lieutenant used to be arch enemies is getting an anime adaptation by Studio Bones. So that's exciting. Well, it's exciting to anybody that's not like, Bones has to adapt my show. Everybody else is perfectly fine with it. Artwork looks cute. We'll see. She got like fluffy bloomers on or something like that. I don't know. Not sure about that whole design, but I know it looks like a romance. It's supposed to be based off of the manga that is by the late... I've been hearing people talk about it. I haven't really kind of looked into it to kind of see the validity of it, but there's a lot of passion apparently behind it because the original mangaka for this series passed away, and this was something they wanted to kind of fulfill, like this adaptation they want to do. They wanted to fulfill it, so that's kind of an interesting story to go behind it if that is true. I haven't actually looked in it to verify it. Best way to put it. But yeah, it's cool. What was the story? Is there even a synopsis on this page? Centers on Mita, a clever brains, the clever brains behind evil organization that invades and destroys everything in its path. One day, a magical girl named, Byakuya Mimori decides to stand up to the organization, and Mita falls in love with her at first sight. That's it. Good, quick, clean synopsis. Straight to the point. He's in an organization killing everybody, and she goes, "Hey, stop!" And he goes, "Doki doki." There you go. That's your story. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. But yeah, there you go. There you go. I'm hoping that Bones does a really good job on that. It looks good, though. We'll see. What else? We have one more.
Desume's better than him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's a bold claim. That's a bold claim. You're going to
Decimi is awesome.
send your hate to Chris, not me.
Anybody who hates on Decimi sucks. Just saying.
Tell a Wedding Rings anime got a new promo. Apparently no longer available on the link that I got. But yeah, it's going to be coming in January 6th. It says that it's removed by Uploader. I wonder if it got in trouble. I don't know. Maybe it might have been a limited trailer. It could have been they like limited time posted it. I don't know why you would. But yeah, January 6th. I was asking Chris earlier if he thinks that it's going to have multi versions too, but I didn't see anything on the website listing it. It is going to have it on ATX and BS11, so it might actually have a pretty uncensored version. And then Blu-ray maybe later. Well,
I don't know. I don't remember a lot of ecchi in that. I really don't. So
just a lot of thirstiness.
Yeah, a lot of thirsty. That's for sure.
Thirstiness. I don't know. I seem to remember like a lot of cleavage shots. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Anyhow, let's see. That's it for the news that I thought was interesting, that should be interesting to people. So let's dive into our community and answer some questions from our community members for a little bit and call it a day. We have a pretty chunky time to do some questions, so that's always good. What is our first one? As soon as I can get through this list of people
we need more questions.
People chatting in here.
Yeah, we need less people chatting and more questions. We need more questions. Give us more questions.
So we did Ira's. I see that one. Somebody answered Ira, so Ira yelled at them. Good job, Ira. Come, buddy, Ira yelling at people in this discussion, the questions thread. Let's see here. Vione says, have you ended up seeing both sides of a spectrum, just that at the final to not believe in either anymore? So have you ended up seeing both sides of the spectrum just to not believe either of them because you looked at both sides, I guess? Example, you are on A, but you see B, but in the end, after talking and thinking about it, you're on either A and B. That's a very broad question. Or a very specific question, I guess is the best way to put it. I guess the better way of asking that question is to, I guess, give a good example of like maybe your taste in something where you believe that you don't like something, a certain style of storytelling or something, and then when you finally experience it, I don't really know what that question has to do with. Do you have any thoughts on that question?
all of my ideas as far as what he's talking about are vastly different than probably what he's trying to mean, but yes.
I like that. Vione asks, have you ever ended up on both sides of the spectrum just to not believe in either of them? Yes. My afro ate my dog.
I see, and that's the thing is, I can only guess that you're meaning one thing that I believe you're talking about, but I don't know that that's what you're talking about. So yes, there has been things where I've been on two sides of the spectrum, and now I don't believe in either side of the spectrum. So it just depends on if that's what you're in reference to or not. So
yeah, like in a sense of like just the viewpoints of how many things unfold in the world itself. Yeah, we're pretty much like that. I mean, we're very in the middle on a lot of stuff. So yeah, I can see it in that regard, but I don't know how that pertains to anime.
Yeah,
I guess is my problem. And this is an anime podcast / manga / light novel. But I mean, I guess to use it to reference anime specifically, I kind of have that viewpoint with a lot of things that involve businesses that are involved in anime. Like whenever somebody talks about like we were mentioning earlier, the whole censorship thing. I used to at some brief moment think that Crunchyroll was censoring everything. And then shocking, I looked into it and I found that it's not necessarily always their choice. In a lot of the cases, it's because things are exclusivities with certain broadcasts. You can legit look on their website. It says exclusive to this platform right here. And that typically means also overseas. Because they know that they could just... For instance, ATX gets an exclusivity for a naughty show. And it's on a TV broadcast later on, then it's going to be censored. But ATX, once they paid money into the production of it, they want the exclusive uncensored version. They know they're not dumb. Shocking, I know. Japan isn't dumb. These people, these production studios and these people buying these exclusivities aren't dumb. ATX is not dumb. They know that somebody in Japan could get a subscription, very cheaper subscription, with Crunchyroll rather than to pay into ATX, and then they go over and somebody uses a VPN, gets a sub with Crunchyroll, and they watch it there. That's why they do exclusivities, even for overseas. But yeah, I don't know. But my whole point there is that yes, yeah, right there, I'm seeing that it's not Crunchyroll's fault. But at the same time, I also see that Crunchyroll isn't the bastion of positivity and goodness. I still see that they do a lot of wrong things. So, yeah, it's kind of one of those kind of fighting back and forth between trusting a company, not trusting a company, and then realizing it's better to sit in the middle and just point out when they do wrong and they do right. Rather than be either a overly positive stuff about how Crunchyroll is the greatest ever and I can't see anything that they do wrong, versus saying they're the devil and they do everything wrong. Always assuming that they're bad. So, other than that, I don't know how it applies to anime. So maybe just ask your question again, more specifically, I guess, next time. So, my Afro ate my dog, apparently, is a username. Not sure how that works. Maybe you put the dog on the Afro and it just kind of sunk in there,
well,
and then started smelling.
From the Goo show, I mean, it's very possible.
True. Do you think the success of anime like Sword Art Online, we're going to get a new dot hack anime because of the success of it? We're going to get a new dot hack anime. They still have light novels they never adapted.
I wouldn't mind seeing a re-adaptation of dot hack. I believe that one was it just hit at just the wrong time, honestly. But it does have a lot of potential as far as its story is concerned. But it would definitely need a really solid team behind it. It deserves all the good stuff that possibly we could give it.
It deserves the good stuff.
It deserves
a good adaptation.
It needs the unlimited budget works treatment.
Okay, there it is. No, I was looking into the production group for it. Looks like Bandai. It's mostly Bandai. So I mean, I guess that would work out. I'm not sure. Like, it depends on what you're talking about, because like Dot Hack Sign, I remember correctly, that was a pretty complete story.
Yeah.
Like it had a very conclusive ending, and I don't remember any threads that weren't undone. Luminology, that show was, again, another one that seemingly was complete. I think probably what you're talking about, and I could be wrong, was it Quantum? Not Quantum. I think Quantum. I don't remember. I've never watched Quantum. I think that's the only one I didn't watch. But like the ones that were all the game were based off of. That's a lot of stuff in that. That's a lot of stuff in those games. I really wanted to get the HD release of those ones. So yeah, I guess it depends on which one you're talking about, because a lot of them are actually complete. It seems like they're complete, unless there's some other story I'm not aware of. Would I like more? Sure. I'm always open for more dot hack. I really... Luminology, I think, was the only one that was like... A lot of it was very shrug, but it wasn't that very long. I don't know which one I'd want to actually have more of, or if it would actually work. But I mean, if it's good stories, I'm always open for more of it, though. So why we don't get any more, it's probably because that there's a possibility that whole train is kind of ran its course. I mean,
yeah, it was
trying to jump on the hype train for what Sword Art Online created is not a good thing right now. I mean, even with things like VR MMO Dude is not very popular, and even with which is getting insane production values put into it, Shangri-La Frontiers not getting much hype around it. I think that thing has run its course. Like the specifically trapped in a game, I think it's run its course. VR isekais are still doing good right now, and even then, those are kind of dwindling off right now, it seems like. But yeah, like specifically trapped in a game, I think that's ran its course. So unless there's something really good in there to kind of dive into, I don't know necessarily that it's in their best interest to kind of jump on that train at this point.
Not really.
So
it's the only ones that are really hitting right now is pretty much. I think pretty much, and even Villainous is probably going to be starting to taper off here soon. So it'll be we should be starting to see the next trend popping up here very soon.
Soon, Chris says.
Yes.
Soon, and you're still way off the mic.
I was leaning back. I'm sorry.
It has been like 10 years and you still have no mic. What's the word? Way to put it?
Perception.
Is it perception or like?
I have no ability to know where that mic is.
Yeah, like you're not conscious. You're not mic conscious. You're never mic conscious. So I have to deal with audio where it's going noise humming because it's trying to boost you. Mm-hmm. I was trying to figure out what that game was where they had like 4 different versions. I guess they never did any adaptation of it. I think Quantum was based off of it, but I don't think it is Quantum.
The one that I started was just dot hack sign.
Is it the anime or the show? The game. Was it that was a dot hack game sign? Really?
Yeah, it was
it's PS2.
I want to say it was Dreamcast.
Oh, I don't know about that one. I just remember the one from PS2. I think it was.
Was it PS2?
Yeah, dot hack.
Yeah, there was like
mutation,
three
outbreak, and quanting. Yeah, was this one on GameCube too? This is the one I'm thinking of. It's dot hack, mutation, quantum, and a quarantine. I'm sorry, it's really small letters from where I'm at. Infection and outbreak.
Yeah, I started the first one,
I wonder how much of this is. See, I literally have no clue about. As much as I have watched so much dot hack, it has technically been a long time. Like Luminalty and stuff like that was like what, back in 2002? Yeah, 2002 was Luminalty. Sign was back in 98. Nope, that was 2002 as well. It says no, its theme is based. It's original. Okay, I was like I wasn't sure if this stuff was based off of source material that they've actually adapted so far. Apparently, they're all original. I know that Luminalty was technically what it was, is that you had Doc Hat Song was where the guy was playing the game and they eventually find that one person that seemed like they were stuck in it, and they eventually find the person in real life or whatever. Spoilers. Luminalty, if I remember correctly, was where it was people investigating the mishap that created that. They were looking into the servers. It was like outside of the game and they were actually investigating it or something like that. But yeah. Anyways, there you go. My afro ate my dog. If they really ate your dog. BSL4 Frank. I guess it's AKA Frank. Do your Pokemons defecate? If they do, then is there some sort of miniaturized sanitary system in your Pokeballs? No, they just sleep in there. What does yours do?
My Pokemon are perfect. They never potty.
Oh, they're like idols where they don't use the restroom?
Exactly. They're perfect.
They're self-sustaining.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they don't actually defecate. It just kind of runs back into the system and nurtures.
Yeah, they're perfect.
Do they eat?
Probably not. Except for their candies that I give them.
That probably is why they don't. It's because you starve them. it's like the dude walks in this guy's house and he's like, "Hey, how's it going? All right, come on in, man. Did you bring drinks? Yeah, I brought drinks." And you're like setting them down. "Hey, man, watch out. There's my dogs. They're cool. They don't bite or anything like that. Man, those dogs look really skinny, like skin and bones. Yeah, aren't they great? They never poop in the house." But do you feed them? No, what? No, they don't cost me anything to have them around the house, and they don't poop either. It's weird.
Gee, that's just cruel. Stop.
That's 2 dark jokes I've had this episode. Hopefully people got sense of humor when they're listening to this podcast episode. Otherwise, they're gonna be mad. Anyways, BSL4 Frank, if that's your name as well, there you go. I'm glad we can answer that question for you. Vione pops in again and says, after finishing Mushoku Mondays, do you consider teleporting the emoticons away like a tragic incident and put instead emoticons of a sense of bookworm for when you start it? Also, will you consider making it another day, or is it remaining on Monday, making it a sentence Monday? It's supposed to be Mind Monday, by the way. Or Bookworm Monday, or a sentence of the Monday. Okay, the first question. Do I consider... Yes, it will. I will want to change it different, whatever we're covering. So if I do a sentence of Bookworm, which I haven't decided at this point, yeah, we'll just do like a sense of bookworm emotes instead. That way the chat can have fun with those emotes during the premieres.
Why are you asking Andrew something that it's not going to happen for another 3 years?
Hey, just
saying.
I just finished 15. We're getting there. We're way over halfway done at this point. It's good. It's good. I don't know what we're doing. Like at least 2 months per volume. So, I mean, what is that like? So it's like 5 more. Was it 26? Right. So it's 11 more volumes. Okay, 2 years. I don't know. I could speed up. I don't know. From what I'm hearing, I'm going to be slowing down. I don't know. A lot of people say that it's going to be getting slower. You're going to start pumping down to like one chapter per episode. Anyways, yeah, you said also, well, I said another day. I don't know. I might. It just depends. I might do a poll at some point, just as we're getting close to the end of it, poll people and find out. I might end up just doing a poll just to find out what people think about A Sentence of Bookworm versus ReZero versus, I don't know, Spice and Wolf or something like that. Grimgar. Grimgar gets 1 vote. It's like, what do you guys want me to do next?
I would vote for Grimgar.
Over ReZero, A Sentence of Bookworm, and Spice and Wolf? I'm just saying, amongst this chart, it's like nobody's going to vote for something like Grimgar in that chart of like ReZero stuff.
I love to have you do Grimgar. Grimgar would be fun.
I really want to do Grimgar, yes.
But
I always tell people my personal heart, I want to do A Sentence of Bookworm next. My
sentence is a...
My second, which is, it's got a bit of my heart, but it's more because I acknowledge that I still want to grow the channel, would be ReZero. Because obviously ReZero is going to get more clicks and more attention, so it's that struggle.
Yeah, and I think that we were talking about that at one point, and we were kicking back and forth the idea, and it was like...
He kicks really hard, too.
Yeah, I do kick hard.
I'm glad you admit that on mic.
I think ReZero would be the one that most people would be interested in. Ascendance, of course, is just that mine's always going to be just a special spot in our heart. So that one's a hard one. But yeah, Grimgar is absolutely fascinating, and I would love to hear Andrew talking about that one next for sure.
Okay. I don't know. There could become a time where, I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm always struggling. We had that struggle with this season where I kind of want to, obviously, and I am doing it, is start to back off on trying to cover every anime, because it's obviously, as much as I enjoy trying to find the gems and trying to watch everything and try to find those hidden things, and how much that's become such a identifiable part about our brand, it is not technically viable to help grow the channel because nobody cares about 95% of the shows in a season.
Yeah.
And so if I'm spending all my time focusing on doing that versus trying to do other content that people are finding fascinating, it is a bit of a struggle. Like, would it be more technically beneficial to the at least the YouTube channel if I were to be doing Mushoku Monday, Bookworm Tuesdays, ReZero Fridays, doing all 3 of those, and then just maybe watching 2 or 3 shows in the season, in the week as well, like watch Frera and Apothecary Diaries, which those videos are doing well, Innocent Shadow, which is doing well.
Well, it goes into that struggle of finding the balance, because one of the things that we've always been is we watch all the shows, and then of course we do pare them down, but when it comes down, we just enjoy talking about all these shows, and everybody does actually like somebody else going and finding out what shows are there and what shows are worth their time. And there is the aspect of we could go the route of, okay, all these shows are garbage, and these are the shows that you should watch. Well, okay, that's no different than any other channel that you've probably bumped into. I don't know. It's a hard balance of finding the right place between wanting to cover at least a little bit of everything and branching out into other things. And yes, I do think that manga and light novels are a good direction to go, but it's at the same time, it's like, how would you even start to approach that? And I guess the only real way is to do what we're trying to do and just kind of nibble at it as we go. I mean, I love hitting the audiobooks, but really got to figure out how would I even try to bring that into our stuff, like we've said before.
Yeah, I think the difficulty that I've kind of faced with the idea of even covering like manga and light novels, that I assume it is much more niche than even anime. Like, anime is pretty niche, and even trying to get a good grasp on viewership for that content, which I don't want to make it sound like all I care about is viewership. It is just, yes, technically, I'm not going to lie, there's a concern in me as a person trying to make it a living. I do have to worry about viewership, because if I don't get viewership, I go back to having another job. So it is technically a concern. I want to be in a comfortable viewership. I'm getting there. We're getting in that little, I'm in that little bracket area where I'm starting to feel finally comfortable. I'm finally able to sigh and go, I don't have to worry about picking up the help wanted ads and start looking at other jobs. I'm getting to that point finally. But again, it is that kind of, like you said, it's kind of a balance trying to figure out what actually works. And yes, technically experiment. Even what, 3 years? 3 years? I think 3 years. 3 years into this now, I'm still learning. I'm still trying to decide what I want to do. Mushoku Monday, I think every single week it's different. Like, every week I balance how much I want to read the book, how much I want to cut it down, and how much I want to just dive into crazy theories in it. So it's always an evolving thing. And yeah, when it comes to Sin's Bookworm and all that kind of stuff, I'm curious how I'm going to handle that. Additionally, I was going to cover this as well. Even though I joked about earlier the idea of having, like, shoot, what does it say? I just don't watch any anime and just do Mushoku Monday, A Sense of Bookworm Tuesday, ReZero Wednesday. That actually sounds pretty good. ReZero Wednesday. Why does that sound so good? ReZero Wednesday. ReZero Wednesday. I guess it goes back and forth. Wednesday. Yeah, it's goes. Anyways, I'm sorry. It just grabbed my head. As much as it would be cool to kind of just do that, I don't know that I'd want to have that many stories in the brain at the same time. Because you know what would happen is I'd be like talking about like a theory that I have in ReZero and suddenly go, man, I just made the connection. I bet Subaru has an aspect. I'm just gonna say that he has an aspect. He has a what's the web novel version of it? Factor. He has a factor. I bet Subaru has a factor, and everybody's gonna be like, "Dude, you're talking about a different novel." I would totally get my theories mixed up. I totally would. So it's like, as much as I would love to hit multiples at the same time, I don't think I'd be able to keep my head straight. Especially what's going on with Mushoku right now.
There's already people that are putting ReZero and Mushoku together.
No, I know. There's a connection there. Fan or not, there's a connection there, even with the writers. But my point is that, like, I'm not good enough to be able to keep that much stuff in my head. And with no spoilers, what Mushoku right now is doing to me, like, mentally, with, like, how many factors are at play, it's absolutely insane what this writer does. Like, this writer is so insanely good at just having so many crazy things be brought up, and it fits every single second, every minute of the story so far. It fits in, because, shocking, it feels like he doesn't pull things out of his butt every arc.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd be able to keep my head straight. Like, as much as stuff has been piling in my brain right now just from that, I wouldn't be able to handle another story. Like, I'm barely keeping up with the other shows. Anyways, that's a really long way of saying yes. And what was the other question? No, I don't know if I'd change the day. I really don't know. Again, I'd probably poll it. I'll probably end up doing a fun poll to see what people think what stories should go to next, just to see. It'll ultimately come down to my decision, but I would love to hear what people think. And I'll probably poll on what day, if anybody wants it to change, and if there's enough push, I think we'll do it. So there's another reason also, technically, Monday, yes, it's because it's a cool name, Mushoku Monday. There's a lot of the time and scheduling and stuff like that's based on mods too. As much as people get angry whenever I change the time, it's like, I just want to make it as simple as possible. I am taking my mods' times from them. Granted, they enjoy it, but I am technically asking people to take the time out of their day to help me. And unfortunately for now, I'm not paying them. I'd love to eventually pay them. I don't know if they care. I think they've, I don't know if they're joking. They have technically admitted that they would do it either way because they just like deleting people's comments. They just love deleting your comments. That's their payment. Is they get to make you, when you say something, they get to make you unsay it. That's their enjoyment. That's their pay. I'm not judging. I'm not complaining. They do a dang good job of it. They, every now and then, whenever I'm like, holy crap, I just thought about, I'm on the video premiere going, wow, this, and this, I cannot believe it. So what if it's this? And then suddenly out of nowhere, just spam delete. This comment was deleted. Because I'm reading up here. I always read like 5 seconds into people's comments. It's been on the screen for a while before it hits my eyeballs. Because I'm looking at the top of the chat where it scrolls up to. And it's just suddenly out of nowhere, just a bunch of deleted messages. Deleted by Adrian. Typically Adrian, he's quick. Every now and then Earthly gets in there. Earthly will crackle his knuckles and jump in there. But no, it's sometimes based on that, but we'll see again. Anyways. Oni says, is there any news regarding Overlord new movie? I don't think so.
I haven't heard anything.
I don't think we've seen anything on that. I would, I think I had it up a minute ago. No, I didn't. It was .hack stuff. Let's see. Yep, nothing yet. Absolute crickets. Sorry, no answer for you. Let's see. Gudako says, was answering question. Bad, Gudako. Sky says, favorite LGBT anime manga, either canon or not. Bloom into you. Straight up. Bloom into you. Say it, Chris. Don't say Ginger Romantica.
I'm trying to remember, honestly.
He's like, I don't know. Apparently, according to our podcast, Ginger Romantica.
Sure. Ginger Romantica.
I don't know. The Ginger Romantica kind of falls in that category of what I exactly hate. Is that like super like overly aggressiveness.
That's always been.
It's like top. It's like top. What's the best way I can describe that in a sense of the fandom? It's literally like top fantasizing. It's fantasizing the idea of topness. Like, this guy is so overbearing, and he takes over, and I can't do anything about it. I don't like it. I really don't like it. But yeah, I think Bloom Into You has always been my top favorite. Like, it was the first time getting into that kind of stuff where it was like, this feels natural. It doesn't feel overbearing, which I get a lot with a lot of them. It always feels like one side is pushy until the other side allows.
Well, that's when I did an entire podcast based on the idea of the top bottom problem. I absolutely have always despised that about it in a lot of ways. It's the same. It's no different than poking fun at the tropes as far as the harem is concerned, where that you've got the dondere, the kudere, the tsundere, all those different types. Well, yeah, it's the same thing. You if you don't like those, you probably should have a problem with the top bottom. They're not, it doesn't feel natural. And so when you do find those ones that do have that, where it does actually feel very natural in its predilections, I mean, they're hard to find. But off the top of my head, no, I can't think of one off the top of my head. And Bloom Into You is a good one for sure. But
these are the season. Where's the other? Oh yeah, Troika. I was like, where's the other? Oh yeah, Troika. Troika just got stuck in Idolish 7 stuff for the longest time and finally gave us Overtake, and hopefully they'll go back to Bloom Into You. But probably not. Probably just a one-shot advertisement for the manga like usual. Anyways, yeah, that's that. Let's see. Forrest Stickman says, good day. What anime do you think would make good visual novel? For example, a harem you could... Oh my gosh, immediately jumped in my head with 100 girlfriends. For example, a harem you could have a route for each girl, therefore everyone wins. Yeah, I think 100 girlfriends who really, really love you, it would take a lot of production. Like, could you imagine them making a... I mean, technically it would be a... It would probably be a kinetic visual novel, but I mean, you could technically make that.
I wouldn't mind.
It would take some major programming and planning out, but they could technically make like a, no matter what, you choose your route in order to pick up the girls at what time, but eventually you'll get them all, or you can choose not to, I guess.
Did they actually, do you remember if World God Only Knows actually made a visual novel out of that?
I thought it was based off of a game, wasn't it? Or was it a light novel?
No, the idea is that he's breaking the game.
Right. He's a super gamer. But I thought it was based off of a game, wasn't it? Or was it a manga or something?
I want to say that it was originally a light novel or a...
It was based off of a manga. Yeah, I guess it could be turned into an actual game. That'd be
because that one is actually really kind of a cool concept of save the girl and you're saving the world, literally. So
save the girl, save the world.
So that concept is really cool, and it would be it would really play right straight into the light novel or the kinetic novel type thing. So yeah,
the Wikipedia says no game, and Wikipedia is all knowing. So just saying. Let's see here. What was another one I was thinking of? I mean, yeah, technically any case where it's a story of characters that you really like. I mean, yeah, technically with like, you know, say you have a waifu in a show, like say me Roxy for Mushoku. Yeah, it'd be really cool to have a game, some sort of visual novel or whatever that I can just romance Roxy, and that's the story. That would actually be really cool. They should do that. Like, yes, they would have to technically shorten the story. Like, just have it focus on Rudius' early life and just have him romance one of the girls, and then the story kind of just cuts off. It doesn't go like beyond like the displacement incident or whatever. That would be kind of fun. Anyways. What else? He says, favorite light novels that have gotten an anime that you would love to see get an anime adaptation. That haven't gotten anime that you would like to see an anime adaptation. I don't really have any light novels that I've been reading that have not got anime adaptations. I mean,
we usually go backwards.
I did do yeah, I've done a lot of manga that haven't got anime adaptations, but I have read the manga version of J.K. Haru, and I would like to see that one have an adaptation if it was, you know, well adapted. But yeah, I don't have any. Well, we technically finally got an announcement for Spice and Wolf, so that's nice. I would like to get more Grimgar. That way I can put off reading the light novels for a little bit longer, knowing that there's another season of that coming around. But have you actually been reading anything that's not the opposite? You said that.
No, I do. Yeah. Well, I do dabble in, but it's not something that by the time it actually matters,
you're literally playing into the system of anime industry. You are watching the previews, and then you're reading the novel.
Pretty much.
You're getting that advertisement that sends you over to it. Yep. That's literally what they're doing. Mm-hmm. That's what most people do. Anyways. What else? Anime whose source material you enjoy, but didn't like the anime. Season 2 of Mushoku. Summer Spider, so what? But I haven't read the novel, but I'm assuming it's better.
Yeah.
I would imagine Classroom Elite. You've been reading that one, didn't you?
I have not done that one.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but bad. See, most of my experience there is a lot of people saying that the source material is like way better. But yeah, I my only experience I've had so far, which is very limited because I haven't really read much besides Spice and Wolf and a little bit of Grimgar, and again, deep diving into Mushoku. My only experience and it's not even that bad of an experience. It's just that's my worst experience, which is very limited. I felt like that first part of season 2 of Mushoku just didn't capture the story well enough. It was still a 9 out of 10 anime, just not well enough. So. What else? What series do you think has the best school uniforms? My gosh. How long do you have? No, what was that?
I think
I'm gonna look this up. I gotta look this up.
I think Irregular probably is my favorite.
Is it that one?
That's the one off the top of my head, but
Which
I
one are you
mean,
saying? I'm
irregular, Magic High.
it's kind of simple.
What do you got?
Akashic Records of the Bastard Magic Instructors. Yes, the garter belt, thigh highs, belly shown. Why is this a school uniform anime? I remember when that show first came out, it was like, what are these uniforms? I like it. They had like the most... It was literally one of those cases where you like, what pervert said this school, this is their outfit? Like the shortest skirt possible. Again, like the whole garter belt thing, the belly showing, straps on the side of the bellies and all that kind of stuff. It was just a wild outfit. But no, like legit. I'm thinking it's one of the keys. One of the key series, I really liked the outfits. That they were super cute. A lot of the key series outfits are really good. Charlotte was kind of blah. What else? This is not a list of key anime. That is not a list of key anime. I don't care. Go away. I want to continue with disabling. CBR. Okay, thank you. Rewrites, they were okay. I said Charlotte's Air was okay. Was it canon? Maybe it was canon that I'm thinking of. I don't think it was Little Busters. Definitely not Angel Beats. Angel Beats was super plain. Just regular sailor uniforms and business or suited. I think it's canon. Let me see canon. Especially like the winter outfits. A lot of the key animes, they have these really nice winter outfits for school. Yeah, I think it was canon. I really like that kind of cape almost overcloak thing going on. That's the only ones I can think off the top of my head though. A lot of the key ones and Akashic Record. If you haven't seen it, please go Google it right now. I guess you could do it in public. It's not that bad, but yeah, it's special. It is super special. Anyways, what else has he got? Did you give an answer or do you remember? Oh, you were saying
Irregular.
Yeah, irregular. Let's see. I don't remember the girls' outfits were there. I just remember the guys' outfits were super plain.
What, irregular?
Uh-huh.
Oh, the girls had the really graceful, kind of long.
Yeah, they had two different ones though. They had for the leaves and the knots. Yeah, I remember the girls' outfits were good. I like the girls' outfits. These guys were just kind of very plain.
Yeah,
I mean, they kind of look cool, but
I'm not thinking of the guys when I'm thinking of. I'm sorry.
Same, Chris. Same. There's nothing special about the dudes in the key animes. I'm just thinking about the girls. Akashic Records. What I talk about the short skirts? No, the guys don't wear that.
Look stupid.
The guys don't wear that. Don't worry, they're not wearing skirts. How would you rank visual novels, light novels, anime, manga in order of enjoyment, regardless of how much time you have to enjoy each one of them?
Do what?
I guess he's saying how would you rank each one of the different mediums in order of enjoyment, regardless of how much time you have to enjoy each of them. Yeah, that's still not making sense. In order of enjoyment, regardless of how much time you have to want each one of them. I think the English is breaking on that one.
I think he's asking us to put our enjoyment of each medium in order, regardless of if we actually put time in, regardless of if we're investing time. So video games obviously is one of our favorite things, but we don't
each
invest
one of them
a lot
in
of
enjoyment no matter how much time you spend on them. Okay,
right.
I get you.
That is a tough question.
I mean,
because I naturally get a lot of enjoyment out of like video games, obviously, and so my natural inclination,
games,
huh?
He didn't list video games though.
Well, each medium.
He said light novel, visual novel, manga, and anime. You can put that in there. That's fine. I'm just joking at you.
Well, I guess that would make sense. I don't know because
for me, regardless of time, light novels. I wish I had more time to just read endlessly.
Yeah.
And that's mainly because, again, I'm sort of skewed in the idea that I'm reading Mushoku Tensei, and I'm very afraid at this point that I'm going to go into something else and go, holy crap, the writing's just not as good. We'll see, though. But yeah, I've been having way too much fun reading
And as much as I used to hate reading, but I think it's because it's a story that I'm really enjoying it. I'm just getting super invested in it. So despite the fact that I only really attribute a good day of my schedule each week consuming a novel, and then it's a lot of note taking and stuff like that, so that's why it takes so long. But I would put that at the top because I'm enjoying it so much. But then, yeah, anime is going to be right behind it. Light novel, I've tried, and it just doesn't work for me. As much as I have like a bunch bought that I want to eventually get to, I just don't feel the commitment. And maybe granted, if I were to give it a designation, like maybe doing like a Clonod Sundays and actually go through it and make videos on it.
You mean visual novels?
Right.
Okay.
I would probably do a lot better, but typically with visual novels, I don't really have the time or feeling a commitment in them as much as I want to. But again, it may just be me just trying to find that one that really clicks for me. I mean, I've finished a lot of them, like Planetas and stuff like that. Planetarium. Yeah. It's kind of lower on that. Manga, I really love. I really enjoy. So that would probably be right behind anime. So light novel, anime, manga, visual novel.
That's where I kind of have my mix, because I would put in this weird category light novels and manga in the same area. I really, really enjoy them, but time is absolutely my biggest enemy. And so I kind of go with anime as this kind of nice little, it's everything I need.
It's super easy to consume, and I think that's what makes anime so great. And yeah, granted, if it is a good adaptation, that's the whole thing. That's the only reason I'm really putting light novel up there, is because it's the ultimate, like, raw. You're getting the whole story. Whereas with an anime, there's still that fear of, like, I'm not getting the whole story here.
Yeah.
Like, with this first season of Mushoku, it's like, literally, I feel like that was such a great adaptation, despite the fact that they skipped, like, a whole thing in Millis, and they skipped the whole thing with the Westport, and they skipped all the stuff with the Dragon King realm. It's still, like, such a good adaptation that I thoroughly enjoyed it. It added visual, it added voices. And those are voices that even when I'm reading the story, I still have in my head. I still read them as if I'm hearing their voices from the show. So there is like an added value that you are getting from that. And yes, it's really easy to consume. And I think that's what kind of makes it fight with light novels for me in the end, is because I literally just hit it and I watch it. Rather than, find the novel itself and start reading, and it takes much longer because I'm not a super fast reader. Especially since I take notes. Especially since I take notes. There's technically a lot of the shows that I cover takes me forever to watch because I'm taking notes too. Like I'm watching like Apothecary Diaries or something like that. And it takes me. I look at the clock after I'm done. I'm like, that episode took me an hour to watch because I'm just taking notes the whole time. I am a write to solidify type consumer. If I write it down, it solidifies itself better in my head. So that's why. Anyways, what was your ranking?
Pretty much light novels and manga at the top, and then anime.
And visual novels at the bottom.
Well, visual novels.
Something's got to be down there, Chris.
I've got to find a visual novel. I've got to actually consume visual novels before I can start.
You've never... I mean, you've started some, right?
Started some.
Yeah. I mean, you played games that are technically visual novels, like Murder Chronicles and stuff like that. Yeah. Murder Chronicles. I want to play that again. It's been so long.
I've gotten so far in those games, and I never have finished them.
I never finish them. Never finish them.
I know that I'm like at the spot before the end on one of them, and I refuse to start the second one because I need to finish the first one. I love that game.
It's such a good game. The art is so chef kiss. Like, the art is so freaking chef kiss. Four Stick Man's last question, and I think it's the most bold question. This is the one that's going to get some... So it's getting heat. I'm going to be honest. I'm reading this because I want to make sure that we get everything in there.
You're not going to delete his comment?
I might afterwards. I'm going to act like I'm reading it right now, and then I'll just delete it from the podcast. What happened to the intros and outros on the episodes? And typically with the first episodes of every anime, they might not have the OP and the ED, and that's because they're just trying to get that introduction to get people kind of grabbed. And plus, a lot of them have spoilers in them. But they typically, every episode beyond then, they usually have them unless there's like a really pinnacle point they're opening an episode with.
Unless he's talking about our show.
Chris, shh. I want to drive him crazy when he comes down the comments in the Discord going, that's not what I'm asking. Yeah, it's just, it was more the fact that it's a long story, really, honestly. It started out because I was trying to take down the load on the hosting that we were having the podcast on, and I had to lower the quality of the podcast itself to a lower quality mono, and the music, when I attached them to the files, did not sound good on that. So I ultimately decided at some point to cut them completely. Plus, I was also taking the podcast raw and shooting it straight onto YouTube at the same time, and YouTube would get angry if I put the music in there. Then that ultimately came to a decision of just remaining it that way because we were going to Spotify to host it, and I was afraid at some point Spotify is going to pick up on a system that picks up the music on an algorithm and automatically flags you and copyrights you and all that kind of crap, just like YouTube does. So I decided ultimately just to not bother. That way in the future, I don't have to deal with that.
Or you could just blame me. Chris was lazy.
Chris said to stop doing it.
There you go.
And I said, Chris, but people like the music in the opening. And he's like, stop it. And I'm like, yes, sir. Never again. So there you go. I still risk everything by doing the music episodes. But again, that's more of a thing because if something does come up, it's really easy to knock out a bunch of music episodes rather than literally edit 700 episodes. So that's your answer. If you want Four Stick Man, I got an idea for you.
You know what? I got an idea. Let's see if we're in the same spot. Go ahead.
You can go to our music playlist on Spotify.com. Listen to a song on Spotify.com in the Otaku Spirit Picks, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Otaku Spirit Picks on Spotify. Listen to, let it play whatever song's on there, and immediately once the track's over, stop, and then go over to our podcast and start playing it. And that'll give you the same experience.
The podcast is on Spotify as well.
That's true. Because all of those picks on Otaku Spirit Picks, those are our selected songs.
There you go.
So you're getting the same experience. We selected those, and I always end up selecting those for the podcast episodes. So it's the same experience. Anyway, that was...
No. It's not the same exact experience.
Yes.
Because,
you get the full length.
You get the full length song.
Yes.
There you go.
Because I never did full length on our... Well, I did sometimes, but I usually never did it because it would be like somebody sitting through like a 5-minute long song and go, is this a podcast? When do these people talk? But yeah, there you go. That's your answer. Can we do one more? Let's see if Ramblin' Bear has a quick question. Ramblin' Bear says, is there an anime series that you think would have been better received if it was released today rather than when it originally aired? This is a really, really interesting question in a lot of regards because there's a side of me that feels like certain things like Panty and Stocking, which is technically getting another anime here soon, is going to be a really nice indication of that. And I feel like there is a bit of an intrigue in things that were older and extremely offensive that might actually get a lot of traction these days because they're so offensive. I see a lot of people mentioning that Panty and Stocking could have never, before they announced the end of the season, I remember seeing a lot of people memeing saying Panty and Stocking could never exist today. It's going to happen. It's going to be curious if it'll be as offensive as it used to be. Because I think it's going to take off now better than ever before because it's literally the answer a lot of people want right now, which is to say middle finger. It's kind of like Magical Destroyers. Yeah. When that first couple episodes, I really felt like it was a middle finger to everything. And I was like, yeah, do it. Granted, it kind of cooled down, but it is technically what I think a lot of things people want is a middle finger to censorship and a middle finger to, I guess, sensibilities.
I think you're right in a lot of ways. That's, if anything, that's going to be what would do it right. But... because I hesitate to say anything that was in the older style being brought up. Yeah, but as far as an older show releasing today catching fire better, no, not necessarily. This is a really interesting twist on the question that we hear all the time of what would you like to get remade. I mean, you hear that
the whole
question
is what you want, but what would be successful?
Yeah,
like I can argue. I mean, this is gonna be some really gutsy response here. I bet you Akira wouldn't be that popular.
No.
It's so funny that these days it really feels like a lot of those kind of... See, why Akira was so popular is because it was so limited what we got. And when that came over here, it was literally like... It was game-changing. Compared to everything else, it was game-changing. And I could just feel like that being something that would completely lost in like the flow of things and not really be that successful. Granted, yes, technically also... It's not a complete story. It was like pretty much an original end. And it didn't really end that good. No. Like if you think about it, Akira didn't really end that good. That's why I have the manga set to eventually read. It didn't really have a good ending. I mean, it had an ending, but it wasn't a great ending. It had a good build up, climax, final boss kind of situation and the resolve, but it wasn't. There was so much more to it that they could have got into. Like, what the hell is this Akira? It never really gets into it. I mean, no. the main thing that causes the whole thing is not really explained. But yeah, I don't know that would do... I mean, they are going to be doing a new one. Sunrise is doing it. Hopefully it doesn't have too much more CGI than the original one had. The original one did technically have CGI in it, by the way. Fun fact. It was a very simple thing. It's just this little kind of like thing in the computer that was in CGI. But yeah, it's going to have a new one. I don't know if they're going to do a full readaptation and actually do the full story. But that's been, announced 5-6 years ago, and Sunrise has been pretty much quiet on it since then. But yeah, things like Escaflowne, Akira. There's so many of those older shows that I just don't think would be... I would even argue there's a chance that without any knowledge of Neon Genesis Evangelion, I don't even know if that would be popular these days. No, I think it would. Honestly, I think Evangelion would possibly grab people again.
I think it would, based on... I think that people are...
Like Reset. Evangelion never happened. We don't even know what that property is. And then suddenly out of nowhere, this company shows up and says, we're going to make this show. It's called Evangelion.
I think that
it could pull it off because there was so many things that worked for that show that all came together perfectly, which is, again, the same case with things like Akira and stuff like that. But I think it also has the ability to grab a broad audience with its themes and what it presents. Whereas Akira is very specific, I think.
Okay.
No, I'm wrong. If Cyberpunk took off as much as it did, Akira would.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
I didn't think about that. Cyberpunk did really well, and it's very similar. Not similar, like they're cyber. It's anyway. Sorry, go.
There's a drive for people that want raw. I almost want to say raw emotion, but it's not just raw emotion. It's down in the dirty reality checks. And I think Akira has that to an extent, and I believe Evangelion would do the same thing. There's this thirst for stop trying to sugarcoat my story, give me the real deal, and that's one of the reasons why I think that. I know I always bash the Western types properties, but one of the reasons why Dark Knight did well is that kind of getting down in the dirty. This is a descent into this story. A lot of these other shows, your games, some of the games are doing kind of similar things.
A lot of them are going to anti-heroes.
Yeah, anti-heroes. It's not necessarily that we want to see the dark side of a superhero. It's more along the lines of them. There's complexity.
Like The Boys is pretty much that. It's like the complexity of a character to be not just pure. It's not the old Superman who is the nicest guy ever. It's the what was the fighting game version of the with that whole situation where they literally like they turned Superman super evil. It's like, yeah, seeing how he's he's actually flawed. He actually gets mad and destroys a lot of things.
And it's one of those sad things of, it's not necessarily that that people don't, or that people want to see evil. It's more along the lines of they want to be able to relate to them. And I think that that's a thing that we as a human culture, if you want to say it that way, we want reality. We want truth. We don't want all your fluffy butterflies and rainbows. We want, just tell us the truth. And I think that is us as a humanity. We are striving for, is we want to see the truth.
Yeah, I think there's a good balance there because obviously, I mean, you've echoed it so many times. There's times where when you want to escape into positivity, but I think I think it's good to be forced to kind of think, to have a thought-provoking moment where you're reading into something and you suddenly go, is this a good thing? Is that moral gray area? It makes you question it, and at the same time, it presents the idea in a way that makes you go, yeah, I can see that this is wrong. It's like I always say whenever I like a really good villain that I understand them, but I don't agree with them.
Right.
I understand why they did it, but I'm not saying it's a good thing. And I'm not saying I would do the same thing. It's just I'm saying I'm glad I see your perspective, even though you're wrong. I'm glad that we can come to this understanding. Pull the trigger. It's like, I'm glad we got that cleared up. Bye. I'm good to see you go now. It is very interesting, and it does kind of present a lot of questions that, again, I think is a good exercise. I love those thought experiments. I love the gray areas. I love really kind of questioning, is this a good thing or a bad thing? And I think there is a lot of those older stories that technically do that, and I think in those cases, those ones would actually work very well these days.
Yeah.
I mean, a good example of something in the older days that actually is working well, and I guess technically it's based off Origin, which is a different separate manga series, but the Gundam series, I think going into Origin was a nice, refreshing kind of retake on that. And I would really love to see how they can... I think Gundam would be a very fascinating case of rebuilding 79. Rebuild the original OG Gundam. Retell that story with, updating the pacing, getting it really kind of narrowed down. I think it would be a phenomenal series if they did it right. We'll see if the new Netflix CGI anime is going to be doing that. Did you see that?
No.
The Netflix released a trailer for, I think they're using Unreal Engine. They're making you remember Igloo? Did you watch Gundam Igloo with me? It was a CGI one?
I want to say that we did.
I mean, that didn't look that bad, but yeah, it's pretty much, they're doing that. They're making a full CGI Gundam series. We'll see. We'll see. I don't remember when they said it was going to release, but what was the question? What was the question?
What would be better if it was released today?
Yeah, releasing today rather than... I'll be very... I'm
not
very
necessarily would
curious.
it be better, but would it catch fire?
I'm very curious if Spice and Wolf's going to do better this time around.
It
was a beloved franchise, but I don't know how popular it was. I remember back when it first came out, my circles, people were crazy on it. Like, it was hollow, all over the place. Every fan site, every fan sub site, every one of them had hollow somewhere on the screen. People loved hollow. So I'll be very curious to see if it really grabs people this time around. And that part does sort of scare me. I hope they're more faithful now, but there's a side of me that almost wonders if they will be less faithful just to make it more appealing. I wonder if they'll change it. I wonder if they'll make it easier to consume. I hope not. I really hope not. I think people will riot. I think especially the super fans, they will riot, and they will have some fires to put out on their end. I think they're going to probably be as equally adapting it. I think just as equally they will be cutting a lot of that inner dialogue that they did with the last adaptation. Because honestly, as much as I did love what I have read, the first 3 volumes, I sort of understood It wasn't like a lot. It was like Mushoku. I hate even considering any of that inner dialogue being taken out. But when I read through Spice and Wolf, yes, I really felt like crap. I understand Lawrence so much better reading it. But at the same time, I don't feel like I'm like, damn it, I hate the anime now. I still enjoy the anime.
Yeah.
So
The anime captured a lot more of the solitude,
the chemistry,
the chemistry and the solitude. I think that they captured the mood of the moments a lot better.
Yeah.
Whereas with the light novel, whatever, like Andrew was saying, Lawrence is all up in his head. He's talking about he's thinking about everything.
He's talking about how many veins are on the back of his eyeball.
He's constantly. It's actually funny how much he goes back and forth on is Hollow messing with him on this or that or this or that. So
she in his head rent free.
She is up in his head.
I guess we'll call it there. Yeah, as Chris always says, more questions.
Yeah, we need more questions, guys.
So what do we got? What do we got for schedule? I was actually looking at this today because somebody actually brought up a very good question on our Mushoku Monday, which is, are you taking a week break for Christmas? And I went, oh yeah, that's right. Christmas is Monday. So it's like, yeah, I guess I might. I guess I might for the first time in what? I think I even did I do one last year for Mushoku Monday? Of course, my schedule for Mushoku Mondays was kind of flexible. Like I didn't actually attach it. There's another nice who was asking about the Mushoku Mondays earlier? Was it Vione or was it Forrest Dickman? It was Vione. Nice trivia for you guys. Mushoku Monday used to not be specifically Monday. It used to just be my Mushoku analysis. Like I don't even think I had it set to Monday. And then for some reason at some point I started doing it Mondays. Then everybody started saying Mushoku Monday. And then I said, oh, that's a cool, catchy thing. And it just kind of naturally happened that I turned it into Mushoku Mondays, and then it became a premiere every Monday. Or no, it was scheduled every Monday. And then eventually, I was like, let's try a premiere. The premieres are really well, so... By the way, cool thing for everybody that doesn't care about Mushoku Mondays. Not this week, but last week's, we had a record. 656 viewers. That was pretty cool. But, what was I going with this? But yeah, I don't think it... I think I probably had it released outside of Monday, or maybe I just released it and let people watch it if they wanted to. Is Christmas always Mondays? No, it isn't, right? It's not always that same week. It would be changing. It's always based on the date.
25th.
Not the week, so...
Christmas is the 25th.
No, I'm saying it's not Monday every single year.
Right.
25th is not Monday every single year for December. That would be dumb. Anyways...
Christmas is always the 25th, Andrew.
But Christmas is not always Monday. So by that point, yeah, that would mean that probably it wasn't a Christmas Monday. So I probably was able to do Mushoku Monday last year. So yeah, we'll probably have a week off for that one.
Either that or just release it on Mushoku. That word.
Tensei Tuesday?
Tensei Tuesday. There you go.
Tensei Tuesday. I'll edit. I'll be like, happy. I can't even say it. Happy Tensei Tuesday. No, I'll say. What's the other way of saying it? Tensai Tuesday. That way it makes everyone mad. You say Tensei, man, it triggers people. I get angry. It's like saying Luffy. Do you know Luffy's my favorite character? Have you ever seen that show with Luffy in it?
Oh my gosh.
They had that at the parade, with the Macy's parade. They had, no, wait for the joke. Wait for the punchline.
I haven't even gotten to the punchline and I'm already busted up.
They had...
I only have a rough idea of what happened. I don't even know. I just know that there was a balloon.
That was
might have been a One Piece character and might have gotten popped.
It lost the hat. It lost the brim of the hat, basically. I thought it was going to go down, but apparently they had it sectionized, so it didn't go down.
Oh, okay.
Which makes sense because as long as the hole as long as the air leaving it is not greater
So
than the
poor
air
kids
entering it.
didn't actually get traumatized by this
Yeah,
experience.
when was the last time that happened? There was like one. What was the last balloon that did that? Yeah, completely like pummeled everybody. It was great. Not really. I hope nobody died, and that was a really bad joke. That'd be the third bad joke this podcast episode. No, it was one of those ones where when he popped up on the scene, I'm like, please, newscaster, say Luffy. Please say Luffy. Please say Luffy. It was great. They said it right. I think they said it right. I don't know. Anyways, what were we talking about? Anyways, I guess we'll leave it there. Again, like Chris said, more is great. But yeah, that was what I was talking about. Just like Mushoku Monday.
Andrew, I just realized something. You're wrong anyway, because it's actually Rufy.
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 Like roofies? Okay, thank you. That's so much better. The One Piece apparently is narcotics. Technically, based on the live action, I'm not sure if it's faithful to the manga. He technically ate some very questionable fruit. Which that was, like I said, when I watched the light novel, the live action, I was very intrigued by it. That it was a lot more. There was a lot more going on with the powers and everything than I thought there was. Like the whole, it's a pow fruit. It's a fruit.
It's a demon fruit.
Devil fruits.
Devil fruit.
Narcotics. Roofies. Roofies. Eating roofies. What we talking about? No, back to my point.
I don't know what we're talking about.
The Monday the 25th is probably...
It was a balloon.
Roofies.
No, we're talking about roofies.
I don't know. Do you want me to just find... Should I finally release the Fairy Cast episodes on Christmas? I don't know that you want to record on Christmas for our podcast.
I'd like to finish Fairy Tale. Can we finish Fairy Tale?
No, we're never going to finish Fairy Tale. But I mean, we could technically record on Monday, or we can record another day, or I can just release like an old podcast that I haven't released yet. So I haven't decided what we're actually going to do for that. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about.
Why is that so funny? Monday the 25th, which we typically record on Mondays. Do you want to record on the 25th of Monday, or do you just want to do a releasing of another podcast episode? I don't know.
I don't know.
I was trying to prepare people.
My brain is broken now.
Okay, Chris is undecided. We'll figure it out by then. We have technically 3 more weeks to figure it out. So, anyways, yeah, that was a fun ending to this podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. As always, we're at talkspirit.com. That's where you can go for all of our links, social media links, ways to get a hold of us, way to support us. Greatly appreciate everybody that supports everything that we do here. Even though it's mostly just Chris giggling to himself. Like you got some kind of...
I'm trying to calm myself down, okay?
Pow fruit up inside of him. What's the pow fruit? What is pow fruit from now? Was that Fairy Tale? Was that Fairy Tale?
I don't think so.
Pow fruit. Or was that Dragon Ball?
It might be.
Paw fruit?
But didn't they have the Ginzu beans?
Is it? How is it? Yeah, they did have that too. Senzu beans. I mean, they can have both of them. They're like, no, we have Senzu beans. Get the pow out of here. Is it pow fruit? What am I thinking of? Pow fruit. Is Kingdom Hearts pow fruit? Is that what I'm thinking of?
You
Pow
might
fruit?
be right.
That is. It's the stupid fruit that they had on the island.
Fruit. It was the stupid
yeah,
star fruit.
And he wanted to eat it together with them. Why am I thinking of that? I'm tired.
Stop.
I don't know why I'm thinking of freaking Sora and Kairi and stuff.
Kairi's cute.
She's like the character that you just know is never going to get with the main character, even though they ship it really early on. It's like the writers like, look at them.
She was the flower
Ship
in the
them.
desert.
Ship them. Now we're going to separate them and they'll oversee each other again. But keep shipping them for 5,000 more years if we make more titles, and you'll figure it out eventually. Anyways. Take care.
Oh,